screaming like Godzilla. Oh, hello and guten Tag. My name is Dr. Fripp, illegal body surgeon, and whenever I am not committing my crimes or making human flesh out of my victims, I am here in my hideaway reviewing movies, horror movies in particular. Today's review is going to, well, I want to go slightly different and go for psychological suspense thriller, which still falls into the scare factor. And that film is Psycho, 1960, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, based on the novel by Robert Bloch of the same name, directed and produced by Alfred Hitchcock. The film stars Janet Leigh and Anthony Perkins. So, it's a classic, yeah. So, what happens here is Janet Leigh plays Marilyn, a young woman who is like having an affair with her boss until he calls off the affair, and out of her anger, she robs him blind and takes his money. Then she goes on the run from Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, upon her travels, she gets tired. She does her best to hide away. She does manage to get away, but then she pulls up her car on a stormy night at the Bates Motel, where she meets a very shy but kind gentleman, Norman Bates. Or is he? Of course, if you know this, he is not who he seems to be. Of course, when he saw Marilyn, played by Janet Leigh, and of course Norman Bates is played by Anthony Perkins, he is touched by her, aroused. He wants her, but of course he has a jealous mother. Anyway, she's then thinking, anyway, Norman sees her and he's kind to her, gives her something to eat or something, and also has a chat and a conversation with her. He tells her about his hobbies and interests and what he likes to do in his spare time, which is taxidermy. And of course, he is kind to her and offers to give her breakfast the next morning. And of course, after the conversation she has with Norman, she then sees what she's doing is wrong and then says to return home to redeem herself and turn herself in. Of course, she then takes the iconic shower scene, and when she does, Norman Bates' mother comes in and jabs her with that iconic movie music scene, that ni 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 ni, and then she's like there, screaming like Godzilla. But then she is starved and bleeds to death in the bath. This is when the story takes a completely different turn and changes. We then focus on Norman Bates. After Marilyn has been officially reported missing, a private investigator is sent on the job. He goes on the job and he stumbles across the Bates Motel. He then talks with Norman, but has a suspicion that he might be hiding something after he refuses to let him see his mother. He then, well, as you know, he goes into the house and Norma Bates jumps out and gets him in the face, and he falls down the stairs and she guts him like a fish. Then Marilyn's sister and her boyfriend, she's getting worried now that, about the private investigator and her sister, so then decide to check out the Bates Motel for themselves. They also find out from the local sheriff that Norman's mother has been dead for at least a good 10 years. So who is this mother? Are they sure they saw an old woman in the house? Of course, if you've seen this, you know what's happening. They go to the Bates Motel. They want to investigate, so Marilyn's sister's boyfriend distracts Norman while she stumbles into the house, looking for Norman's mother, Mrs. Bates. Of course, once he discovers that the woman is nowhere to be seen, Norman knocks out the boyfriend and quickly runs into the house. There she looks around and finds a lot of stuff untouched in his mother's bedroom. She then stumbles into the basement and finds Norman's mother, Norma. And of course, she makes the discovery that she is dead and rotting away. Then we find out in the movie, with the shocking twist, that Norman is in fact Norma Bates, his mother. But luckily, before he can kill her, Norman gets restrained by her boyfriend and then is arrested. The psychiatrist comes out after he has been arrested, evaluating on what is up with him, that he was touched by Marilyn, aroused by her, and that is when, of course, it takes a twist. He is possessed by his mother. He has a split personality where he has been constantly fighting with his mother to maintain his sanity. Of course, with his second personality, his jealous mother, he then killing Marilyn and dumping her body into the swamp. Yeah, I forgot to mention that he dumps the car in the swamp after he cleans up the murder scene and covers up for his mother. But anyway, Norman, is he really the victim as well as, or is he just a psycho? The movie ends where Norman is in his row, in the cell. He requests a blanket and he gets it. And of course, as it is a split personality, there is always a constant conflict. And the dominant personality wins, which is his mother, Norma. So, it ends where he flies on his hand and chooses not to swat it out. And then uses that iconic sinister grin and goes, "That's Norma Bates. She wasn't hurt to fly." And then the movie ends where the car is getting dragged out of the swamp. They also wonder what happened to her boss's money. Thinking, did Norman take it? But of course not. These were crimes of passion, not profit. Well, this has been my review on the classic Psycho. Okay, so, what shall I rank this? Do you know what? I think it's a good film and it is a cult classic. I am going to give Psycho a good, let's see. I am going to give Psycho a good 4 granny costumes out of 5 knives. Anyway, this has been my review on Psycho. If you like this video, please like and share. Also, let me know in the comments below if you've seen Psycho and what you think of it. Also, Random Ross is on social media still, so be sure to like his Facebook page and follow him on Twitter, which have links in the description below, to stay updated on what he gets up to when he's not on YouTube. I mean, he's not been on a lot lately because I have. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow with another horror movie review. So, till then, I bid you all a Wiedersehen goodbye.